Good morning, YouTube. It is December 31st, New Year's Eve. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. Now, this will be my last video of this year. It's kind of a wrap-up video of my last few videos that I did on the 64 Fairlane. As you can see, the weather is quite different from the last video. Now, I didn't make any more videos on the 64. We did get it straightened out, though. Come to find out what was really wrong with those brakes. It was the pads that I said looked good, and they did look good, but when I put a pair of calipers on them, they were uneven. It was like a 40 thousandths difference. You put a pair of calipers from one end to the other, it was about a 40 thousandths difference in the thickness, meaning they were sticking and worn uneven. I replaced them and used some brake caliper grease, which you put on the part where it actually slides on the caliper, and that took care of it. The car rolls freely now, and what we're getting ready to do is we're going to start it up and get it in the garage. No, I will not do a 12-degree cold start. It was down to 9 last night. I want to get it in the garage, and probably won't do it today. I've been off all week, but everybody's getting sick around here, and I've had a bad sinus infection all week, and it's been single digits almost every night. So I just want to get it started up and in the garage, mostly just to make this video to wrap up the end of the year. So as you can see, we got it warmed up in here, and the car did pretty well. And I also need to show you how I plumbed that proportioning valve, because I did say I was going to show you that. It wasn't that complicated. We just want to get the hood off of it. And the car did pretty good. It went a 46 off the trailer, which the weather was good. And by the end of the night, it did pick up to a 40. Went about 4 rounds, got down to 8 cars, got a little bit of my money back. When you get down to 8 cars, you get your entry fee back. So yeah, if I'd had better luck with the car being consistent and more practice at the tree, I probably would have done a little better. But at least we got it figured out. And now that we know what was wrong, we got to tear it back apart, because this thing's been together for a long, long time. And I want to pull apart the transmission, make sure all the clutches look good in it, make sure the bearings are good. And so let's do a not so cold start in the cold weather. case you was wondering, yes, I did put antifreeze in it. I didn't think I was going to have to, but then every time I thought I was going to get the car in the garage, something else would get in the way, and we had one cold day where it actually got a little bit slushy, and that was back in November. So I drained it and put antifreeze in it, and everything's fine. As you can see, I started it up after sitting outside on several cold digit nights, at least in the trailer, not outside, and nothing has busted. Not that I expected it to. It's full of good, clean, new, properly mixed antifreeze. And I would show you how much easier it pushes, but that tire is low. Remember I said I couldn't push it because of the brakes? Let's see if I can move it with a low tire. It does roll easier. Yes, I can move it now. And it is a lot easier in warm weather. And with the tire that has more than probably, I bet that tire don't have but 3 or 4 pounds in it. That one leaks slow. Actually, when I tried it out the first time after I fixed the brakes, I made 2 passes, came back, and that tire only had 3 pounds in it. Not that it was that way when I ran, but I had a leak. So I had to put it on the trailer, take it back home, and try it again the next week. This tire actually has a plug in it. A lot of people don't recommend that for slicks, but a lot of the guys I race with who have been racing just as long as I have, some longer, have done it and gotten away with it. I will most likely replace those again in the spring. I really hate to, because these don't even have a full season on them, but if you got a hole in it, you got a hole in it. And I don't like to run tubes because they cause balancing issues. I've done been through that before. But we have, okay, let me shut the door. And we have our oil furnace that I just turned on. I started it on kerosene and switched over to the waste oil and diesel fuel mix. And it's already feeling kind of toasty in here. That's not reading anything right now. Temperature just says low. Don't worry about the filter. I don't run a filter in an old furnace. Just an old, it's a 30-year-old oil furnace now. Burner's been replaced several times. Okay, I was going to show you how I plumbed the proportioning valve. Let me grab a flashlight and look it over so that I can give you a good verbal of how I did it. Okay, an hour later, we are up to 50 degrees in here. Oil furnace is doing pretty good. And I need to fix that hole right there. It's letting a lot of heat escape. As you can see, some of my insulating sheeting, or whatever you want to call it, has fallen apart. I need to put some more of this green stuff up there. And first thing I want to show you is I got all the air in the tires now, and look how much easier this thing rolls. I'm doing that one-handed. I'm braced against the table right now, but if you remember, I couldn't hardly budge it by locking my knee against it. So it rolls a lot easier. And like I said, I promised to show you how I plumbed up the proportioning valve. The Wildwood or Willwood, I'm not sure how you say it. But let me get my flashlight. Hopefully you can see a little better. Okay, this proportioning valve, I'm going to use my light to point because I'm holding the camera. It has 2 front end inlets, or one front end, I'm sorry. It has a front end and a rear end. This is adjustable. It's got 2 front outs. Both of those eventually end up to the front tires, of course. 1 rear out. That line just goes out to the rear brakes. And see, on the master cylinder, the rear reservoir, of course, goes to the rear end. And the front reservoir goes into the line lock right there. Then we come out of the line lock into the front end. And then, of course, you got this brake line going to the passenger side wheel, which goes all the way, that line goes behind the engine down through there, into there. And I have my 90-degree fittings, which I think I did cover in my last video, so that those are not pinching anymore. And of course, the other front out. Right there goes to this one. And that's all there is to it. And on the adjustment, I'd have to get the instructions. Actually, I had to look up the instructions online because I had no instructions. But I think less pressure to see, this adjusts the rear only. And if I remember right, it's like a air pressure regulator. The farther out you have it screwed, the less pressure it goes to the brakes, and the farther in. And you want to set it to where, well, it depends on the situation. This is a drag car, so I do need enough brake pressure to hold the front wheels when I do a burnout, which isn't really a lot. But since my fronts are so skinny, it does not hurt to have a lot of brake pressure going to my rear tires, because they're so big and we'll do most of the holding. But you don't want to lock them up. But it takes a lot to lock them up. And since I am not power brakes, it's highly unlikely that's going to happen. Maybe it could happen in a panicking situation where I really stood on them. But I've never had that happen. But that's how they're plumbed. And so I guess on the next videos, I want to do some cold starts since it's so cold. The 66 F100 has not been started up in 3 weeks. That might make a good cold start video. It might be several short videos depending on how stubborn they are. The old 56 Ford tractor 6-volt system, I haven't started in over a week, and it's been single digits almost every night, so we'll see. And a shout out to Jeff Bradshaw, Elderly Iron. I commented on one of your videos, and you said you're still waiting on this 94 Power Stroke project. Well, here it is, buddy. You might be waiting for a little while, because I got to tear this down, make sure it's right. But honestly, if I don't find anything seriously wrong, which I don't think I'm going to, I think I can have this thing together by February, hopefully, maybe sooner. And then I can hopefully start on this, though. I do need to get this done. So I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, and hopefully I want to start trying to do more videos more often, and we'll see how that works out. Thanks for watching.